A beggar lived at a busy railway station in a big city. Every day, he walked around the platforms with a tin bowl, asking people for money so he could eat. His life was hard, but the same every day. One afternoon, he saw a tall man in a clean black suit standing near the edge of the platform. The man looked rich. His shoes were shiny, and he stood confidently. The beggar thought, "This man looks rich. Maybe he'll give me more than others." He walked up and said, "Sir, please help me with something." The man looked at him and asked, "You always ask others for something. Have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar was surprised. "Give? But I'm a beggar. I don't have anything to give." The man gave a small smile and said, "If you don't give, you have no right to ask. Life is about exchange. I'm a businessman. I believe in giving and receiving. When you have something to offer, you'll truly start to receive." Then he got on the train and left. That night, the beggar couldn't stop thinking about what the man said. "What do I have to offer?" he kept asking himself. The next day and the day after, he sat quietly, thinking. He had no money, no job, no skills, just old clothes, tired feet, and an empty bowl. On the third morning, something changed. As the sun rose, he saw small flowers growing beside the railway tracks. They were wildflowers, colorful and beautiful. He had an idea. Maybe I can give these flowers. He gently picked a few flowers, cleaned them, and put them in his pocket. That day, when someone gave him a coin, he gave them a flower in return. People were surprised. Some smiled. Some said, "Thank you." And so, this became his new habit. Every morning, he collected flowers. Every day, he gave them to the people who gave him coins. Slowly, people started noticing him. They called him the Flower Man. They would come back looking for him. "Where's my flower today?" they'd ask, smiling. And every time someone smiled, he felt something inside him change. One day, he saw the same tall man again on a train. He walked up to him with a bowl and a fresh flower. He said, "Today I have something to offer. If you give me something, I will give you this flower." The man smiled and gave him some money. "Wonderful," he said. "Now you are a businessman." This time the beggar didn't feel ashamed. He felt proud. He looked at his hands stained with flower color and smiled. As the train left, he shouted happily, "I'm not a beggar. I'm a businessman. I give. I create value. I can be rich." Some people laughed. Some thought he was crazy, but he didn't care. He knew his life had changed. 6 months later, 2 smartly dressed men were at the station. One said to the other, "Do you remember me?" The second man said, "No, I don't think so." The first man laughed. "You met me twice. Once I was a beggar. Once I was a flower giver." The second man was shocked. "You, the beggar? You look so different. What happened?" The man smiled and said, "I'm not a beggar anymore. I now have many flower stalls across the city. People love flowers here. With the money I made, I started a small business, and now it's growing." He added, "That day, you didn't just give me money. You gave me an idea. You taught me to give, not just ask. I realized I was never a beggar. I just didn't know my value. Now people aren't giving me charity. They are buying joy, beauty, and love, packed in a flower." They both smiled and walked off the train. 2 businessmen side by side. Success doesn't start with what you have. It starts with how you think. The tall man knew an important truth. Life is about giving and receiving.